friends, it's Ollie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and for the returners, thank you for coming back. So today I have another self-care chat for you guys. We're going to be talking about how to prioritize self-care without falling into isolation. So if you're like me and you're an introvert, I feel like it can be hard to find that balance of like prioritizing yourself, making sure that you're resting and you're recharging, and not just like sitting at home and rotting all weekend. These are the questions that I asked myself and the things that I did to make sure that I was ensuring a healthy balance between self-care, self-prioritization, and self-isolation. My returners know the drill, but for my new friends, go ahead and get a snack, get a drink, hit that subscribe button down below, and let's get into the video. Okay friends, so before we get into this, I want to talk about what is healthy isolation. Essentially, how much time alone is too much time alone? And I feel like this is a question and very much a conversation that you just need to have with yourself, because what I've seen is that everybody needs different amounts of time to recharge. I have people in my life that they just need an evening to themselves and they're good. They can hang out with people for the rest of the week and they don't feel fatigued about it. Whereas I'm someone that's like, I need a full day. Like, I need a full day of not work, no friends, no plans, no errands, of just like, I really have nothing to do so I can feel recharged for the rest of the week. I think the best thing to ask yourself is kind of like, when do you feel your best and how much time did you need to recharge to feel that way? So this is why I decided on having one day a week of not doing anything, because I found, especially after I was like going into the office 4 days a week, that I needed one day of like no social interaction. And the funny thing is, I would get maybe like 4 or 5 hours into this day around 4 p.m. and I would want to interact with people. So that's kind of when I figured out like, okay, that moment that self-isolation almost turns into like a guilt or like a, I didn't do anything today. That's your tolerance. Like, that's how much recharging time you need. The moment that you go from recharging and being lazy and relaxing and just like enjoying the weekend to that little switch in the back of your brain that's like, oh, well, I haven't done anything this weekend. That means that you're basically at your limit. Like, you're recharged and you're ready to get back out there. So I think for myself, like turning that guilt and like reframing it, instead of looking at it like, it's Sunday and I haven't done anything, I'm like, okay, like if I'm feeling that way, let me call my mom, and like I'll call my mom and I'll end up like folding my laundry while I'm talking to her, or like I'll go hang out with a friend or something, or I'll go take myself out and go on a solo date, go try like a new restaurant or go for a walk or something. But whenever you're having that point of like the isolation all of a sudden turns to guilt, that's your limit. That's how much time you need to recharge, and that's about the healthiest amount of isolation time that you're gonna get to feel your best. And then with that, I think it's important to pay attention to what activities make you feel recharged, because I think a lot of us think the best way to recharge is to lay down and rest. In reality, like, we only need 8 hours of sleep a night. Like, we really don't even need to take naps. Like, naps are good, and I am a big advocate for naps, so don't think that I'm saying that something's wrong with you if you're taking a nap. I'm saying that sometimes I think the only way we think we can recharge is to sleep, and that's not necessarily what you need. Sometimes you just need to use your brain or your body in a different way. So paying attention to what activities you do that make you feel recharged. For me, making content makes me feel recharged. Like doing my hair, doing my makeup, cleaning, listening to music, like all those things make me feel recharged, and they're not necessarily me just sitting down and doing nothing. So the next part about dealing with isolation and not making sure that you're self-isolating too much, but also taking time for yourself, is actually about paying better attention to who your friends are and who you call a friend. So I think one thing that we all do, I'm guilty as well, is we kind of label everybody as a friend when everybody isn't at that same level, you know? And it's not like you have an issue with some people, it's that they're more like in a, sorry guys, my camera wants to die so badly, so I have it like plugged in. I hope it doesn't die, so I'm gonna have to pick it up through this video. As I was saying, I think a big part of learning like your healthy isolation amount is by paying better attention to who you call a friend versus an acquaintance. And the reason that I say this is that I feel like for me, there are certain scenarios where I need to push myself to be social and kind of fight that little introvert monster, and then there's other times that I need to give myself grace and say, hey, like, you can reschedule with this person. It's not the end of the world. So for me, kind of taking better inventory of like, who are my really close friends that I need to show up for, and like, I don't want to do any, not necessarily to jeopardize a relationship, but to make them feel that they're not cared for, because showing up for people matters. And like, even if it's something as small as we were gonna go get ice cream and you cancel, like, who knows if that was the one thing that your friend was looking forward to this week. Paying attention to like when you need to push yourself to be social versus when you need to be honest and say, hey, is it okay if we reschedule? So for me, paying better attention to like, hey, I have plans to like meet up with an acquaintance or plans to go get coffee versus like I'm supposed to go out of town or I'm supposed to do something that's like a little bit more intensive, and like being better at discerning where to share my energy. And this also goes into my next point, which is focusing on what energizes you. This is also like about friends and acquaintances, but also focusing on what energizes you. The two are intertwined, because I found that like the friendships that I felt closer with, like it's with people that they like to do the same things I like to do. Whereas like the people that were like more like my party friends, it's like we're not that close of friends, but it's only because we kind of only do X, Y, and Z together. Which personally, I don't think anything's wrong with. I don't think anything's wrong with like having a friend you go out to eat with, but she may not know all the stuff about your family and stuff. But I think being very clear and aligning on what are the activities that energize us both, that we enjoy doing, that I'm looking forward to doing. Because I will tell you this, like if you're someone that finds yourself like sitting at home doing nothing all the time, it's because you haven't found enough things that you enjoy to do. Like there's just so many things on this planet that you can do, and I feel like sometimes the only thing we think about is going to a bar, going out to eat, or like going to get a drink. Like it's always like the same repetitive thing. So like finding new activities that actually energize you, and also sometimes you have to take the initiative. Like there's been times that I've been like, I want to go see this museum exhibit, and I would send it to a girlfriend and say, hey, would you want to go see this with me? Now I have a new friend that I didn't even know you like to go to museums, but now we both like to go to this together. So like sometimes when you're stepping out of your comfort zone in that way, that's also kind of like an olive branch to make those acquaintances turn into friends, because now you can find things that you can kind of bond over more, and those activities energize you. So you're not like, ugh, like I want to sit at home and do nothing. You're like, no, I'm looking forward to going to axe throwing. Like I'm really looking forward to throwing some fucking axes or like whatever it is. Like finding the activities that actually make you excited, because that's a better way to recharge than sitting on the couch. I personally feel like for me, I only need my Sundays to recharge and sit on the couch and do nothing, but any other day I feel weird. Like, why are you sitting around doing nothing? Like, you should go do something. Even if I'm doing it by myself, like even if I don't feel like interacting with other people, I'm still going and doing something. So I think that's really important if you're finding that you're isolating too much, is finding the things that you enjoy doing that energize you, but then also bringing that to people around you and letting that be something that you guys can now do together. I like completely rushed through that. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, because as you guys know, I'm fighting against this battery. I'm looking at it blinking and she wants to die so badly. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it some love down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.
You tell me you love me, I go start